retro gamers, and welcome back to Game Overcast, a show that takes a look at some of the behind-the-scenes activities of your favorite local retro game store, Game Over Video Games. My name is David KAELIN. I am the CEO of this wonderful enterprise, and I'm happy to join you again this week with more exciting and enlightening and happy news. We're back. It's been a very busy week for me. As you know, last week was our 16th anniversary, and I'm very happy about that. It was, as I said last week on the show, I mean, it's something that I don't know if anybody, when they start a business, thinks that it'll be around 16 years, but I certainly didn't. And so it's been, a very wonderful surprise that it's lasted this long. I'm very proud of the company. I'm proud of our employees. I'm proud of our customers for supporting us over these many years. And I just couldn't be more humble and proud to have made it this long. So hopefully many more lie ahead. And thank you all for your support. During our anniversary last week, I was actually in Washington visiting our stores up there. We have stores in Bellevue, Washington, and Tacoma, Washington, in the Seattle area. And so I was visiting with the folks up there. We have a lot of new employees, and so I was getting some work done in kind of the stock rooms there, and talking to some of the new staff. And so if you're up in the Washington, Seattle area, definitely stop by and check us out. We're some of the nicest, coolest people and, best organized retro game stores in the area. We'd love to have your support and come check out our stores up there. Just as a side note, I mean, it's always kind of fun and cool to travel. And, granted, it's work. It's not like a vacation. I go up there to work, and I work really long days and being in and out of airports all day. And that's always a hassle and a time suck on your day, because it's just hours on a plane, waiting for a plane, getting to the plane, all that stuff. But it was kind of funny and kind of sad that, coming back this week on Monday at the beginning of the week, get back into the office, over 400 emails. We've got voicemails to respond to, so much work to do, accounting wise, email wise, bills, everything. It's really just kind of shocking. I was literally telling myself Monday afternoon, like how many weeks was I gone? Because it seems like the workload just mushroomed, from very manageable to just this insane amount of work. But that's what happens when you go away for a few days. And so I'm getting back on track this week. It's been a long week this week playing catch up. And so if you're one of those lucky 400 people who've emailed me and haven't had a response yet, that's why. So sorry. I have, in the first few days of this week, gotten kind of down to about 100, 150, but I'm still working down the pile. So stay tuned for responses to that. But overall, thank you for the anniversary support. Thanks for supporting Game Over Video Games as always. And now I'd like to just jump right into level 1 with current events. And welcome back. Now we're at level 1. This is the current events segment of the show. So big events going on in gaming this week. The Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. People are still talking about that quite a bit online. It's a current console, so I won't go too much into it, but it mainly does center around this expansion pack that does involve retro gaming. So I feel like it's important to mention on the show. So basically, they've expanded the offerings of their online gaming to include Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64, which is fantastic. We mentioned it on the show. That's great. It's not a ton of games, but it's some good ones on there, and new consoles, and that's all great. They've increased the price from $20 to $50 a year, and to some people, they're like, wow, that's over 100% increase in price, and $50 is a lot of money. But to me, my take on that is $50 is not that much money. And when you're paying $50 per year, that's like $4 a month. That's like less than one Starbucks coffee in a month. I mean, we all spend $4 a month and don't even think twice about it. And so, I'm just like, Nintendo, their pricing was, I think, too low. And so, you're paying extra for the expansion material, but it's also them just kind of catching up to the money they need to be making on that overall offering so that they can continue to add and expand it in the future. Because $20 per year is not nearly enough money for them to do what they want to do online and be able to bring us even more and better, offerings in the future. So my take is $50, it sucks. I get it. but I think $50 for a year is still a great deal. Nintendo's a great company, and every game they're adding are great games. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of shovelware out there. These are AAA titles, Nintendo, titles that just to get a retro N64 console and the Zelda like Ocarina of Time game for it. I mean, that's $200 now. So $50 to play that, it's super cheap actually. So anyway, just to keep everything in perspective, keep it relative. Obviously Nintendo's a big company, and just like Apple or Microsoft or companies like that, they do have to make money, and so they again, I think they were on the little low side to start out. They obviously did a big jump to get to where they're at with this $50, but still, I think in the long run it'll turn out good for gamers. So hopefully that will die down. That fuss will die down over time. And retro gaming specific news, what I mentioned last week about the Intellivision Amico system and some of their physical products they're putting together for collectors, where it had like a collectible coin and a box and an or RFID card to download the game, and it was like collectible limited edition things. They sent an email out saying they're selling out, so they're almost gone. So if you want them, get them now. And also, you're welcome Intellivision, because I'm sure that our 100 viewers or so snapped some of those up. So hope we could help. Retro gaming convention alert. I know I've mentioned in the past there's not a whole lot of them going on this year, but there are some out there, and so I wanted to mention some. This weekend coming up, there's a CorgsCon event going on in Columbus, Ohio. It's a one-day event, but it's actually got a pretty big guest list. Warren Davis, the creator of Qbert, David Crane from Pitfall, and my personal friend Brett Weiss from here in Texas, author and YouTuber. He's going to be there also. So if you're in that area in Ohio, what else do you have to do in Ohio? I mean, go to this event. It's pretty cool. Also, next week on October 27th through 30th in Schaumburg, Illinois, this is just in the Chicago area, basically, there's a big one called Pinball Expo, and that's a very large event. Lots of free play pinball machines in there. Plus, they have retro gaming consoles. They have special guests. They have tournaments and stuff too. So, big convention, 4-day event in Chicago. So that's a big one coming up at the end of the month. So definitely put that on your radar if you're in that area. And as I've said earlier, like there's not as many events going on right now. A lot of them are just smaller local type events. But when these bigger ones do happen, definitely try and support them if they're in your area, because all the events that are going on right now, just like most businesses and small businesses and restaurants near you, they really need our support. So definitely check them out when you can. And that's the end of level 1. So now we're going to jump into level 2 with some company events. All right, welcome back. We are in level 2 now. This is some company events and information for Game Over Video Games fans. Just to let you know that we are hiring. A lot of our stores are still hiring part-time help to help us through the holidays. They're not seasonal positions. They are permanent part-time positions. But we're trying to fill in some gaps in our staffing to get us through the holiday season. So definitely check your local Game Over store to see if they still have positions available. Bring in a resume if you can. Ask to speak to the store manager, and they will let you know what's available. All we need is you to be 18 years old, have at least 2 years of retail experience, and just a great personality for customer service, and that's what we're all about. So come on in if you're looking for a job. We'd love to talk to you. In-store tournaments. We do tournaments in stores every month. It's the second Saturday of the month. So that's coming up then in November, on November 13th. That'll be at one of our main stores in each major city. So we have the one in Selma, Texas, near San Antonio, the one in Houston on 1960, the one in South Austin on South Lamar, the one in Arlington, Texas, in the Dallas area, and then normally in Bellevue, but the Bellevue event is not going to happen in November. Their next tournament is going to be in December, so that'll be the second Saturday of December instead. But so in those 4 stores I mentioned first, they'll be having tournaments on the 13th, and again, they're free, they're fun, community events, so it's normally not a huge crowd that comes out, but just come meet some new people and have fun, and you might win a prize. So nothing to lose. Come check it out. Sale alert. So here's our sale update. So starting today, or I'm sorry, I guess when this goes up, it'll be Thursday. So starting tomorrow, on October 22nd through October 28th, we're doing a wallet and lanyard sale. That's 20% off on those in our stores and also online on the website at GameOverVideogames.com. You use the coupon code GamerGear20. And that'll save you the 20% on wallets and lanyards. So that's going on this first week through October 28th. Then sneak preview on the next sale after that, just in case you're late to the podcast thing and you're not quite keeping up with these, as they air. No problem. The next sale from October 29th through November 4th, we're doing a Retron 5 console hardware sale. So we're going to save $30 off any new or used Retron 5 hardware with a coupon. And where do you get that coupon? The coupon comes in our weekly emails. So Game Over sends out emails every week to customers who sign up either on our website or in the store. And, why do you want to sign up for those emails? It's free, and it gives you information on upcoming sales and events. Plus, sometimes there's coupons that are only in that email. So like this one on the Retron 5s, you have to have the email in the coupon in the email to get that. So $30 off with that coupon. If you don't have the emails, you can sign up now online or in the stores, and that way you'll get future emails and be allowed to get that sale as well. After that, it's Halloween. Oh my gosh, it's Halloween coming up. Who knew? I guess everybody, because it's October. But October 31st, it's actually on a Sunday this year. It's always cool when Halloween's on a weekend. But we do a sale normally every year on Halloween, and we're doing it again this year. 20% off anything in the store if you come in with a costume. The costume has to be a legit costume, and it has to be video game related, though. So don't just come in and say, like, I'm just like an NPC in a sim game or whatever. Like, I'm just look like a normal person. No, you have to have like an actual costume. But yeah, just bring it into the store. Say, hey, I'm in costume. I want to buy stuff and save money. And we'll say, okay. So 20% off. That's one day only on Halloween. Let's see. Trade bounties still going on. Nintendo 64s, hot demand. We'll take as many as we can get, so keep them coming. Black ones we're paying $80 cash. Color ones $150 cash. And also GameCubes, any color, $80 in cash. We pay more for store credit, more for added games and accessories and things, but just for the basic machine with a matching controller, if it's in good working order, that's essentially the lowest price you would get for it. So yeah, bring those in right now. We'd love to take that. Plus, as you know, we buy and sell everything. So, while you're bringing those things in, look through the rest of your stash and see what you have that you're not playing anymore. We take Atari stuff, Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, any stuff, no matter how recent, how old, PS5, yes. Atari games, yes. We take everything in between. Just bring it to us. We'll at least make you an offer. Then you can say yes or no. It's up to you. But at least that way, you have an option on the table. Upcoming events in stores and nationally. Black Friday is coming up. Black Friday is like just over a month away. It's the busiest shopping weekend of the year. So definitely get ready for that. It's going to be a strange year this year. Everything that I've seen and heard on the news, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of this too. There's pictures of like the shipping ports in California where all the stuff comes in from Asia, that there's just boat after boat and shipping crates stacked up like 10 tall and all up and down the ports, that everything's just, it's either waiting in the port, waiting on the boat, it's on its way in on a boat. And so basically they're saying there's going to be a lot of shortages this year for Christmas. I'm not sure what, but since most of what we as Americans consume, comes from Asia, or a lot of that stuff does, there's going to be some delays. And so if you're planning on, shopping last minute this year, you might find whatever it is you're looking for not there in the stores. So they're saying shop early, plan ahead, and you may have to have, multiple things in mind for Christmas presents for people, because your first or second choice just may not be available this year. So at least at Game Over, and I know a lot of other stores too, we do offer gift cards. And so I always recommend that if you can't find the specific thing you want, or if you just know somebody's into gaming, and you want to just get them something in that field, gift cards are a great gift. And that way, they get to pick out whatever they get. So let's see, the Black Friday and Thanksgiving deals at Game Over will be announced in early November. So I'll be getting with you on one of the next couple shows with some details on that. And you can always shop online. You know, if there's not a Game Over store near you, definitely support your other local game stores. But also, you can always shop from us online at GameOverVideogames.com. And we ship anywhere in the country, in the U.S. or in Canada, for a flat fee of $10 in the U.S., $50 if it goes to Canada. But yeah, so you can definitely shop with us anytime. We don't ship anywhere outside of the U.S. and Canada at this time. Sorry to like every other country on earth, but it just gets too complicated for a small business like us to do that. So we're sticking with the U.S. and Canada because that's the easy stuff for us to figure out with our website right now. CGF update, Classic Game Fest, the biggest retro gaming event in Texas, already well underway in the planning for next year's event. It's our 15th anniversary in 2022. Booths are on sale now. We're taking suggestions for guests and bands now. And tickets to the event will be going on sale soon. Normally early November is when we put those up for sale. And so we'll have more news when we have an exact date on when those will go up on the website. New products in the stores. From time to time, I want to let you know what's going on in the retail stores for Game Over. You know, whenever we get in like unusual, rare, hard to find type games. It happens all the time. But with the rare stuff, what normally happens is it comes in one day, it sells the next day. So most people that visit that store may never see it on the shelf. It's just, you just have to time it right. So I always tell people shopping with Game Over, and it's the same with just about any local retro gaming store. You know, you have to come often. You have to go to the store once a week. You have to call them regularly if you're looking for a certain game, because those rare items and those really popular games, they do come in. They come in often, but they just don't stay in the store very long. So you got to jump on them when you see them. But we just had a rare game alert this week, earlier this week on, I think it was Monday. We got in a copy of the NES game Panic Restaurant. That's in our Arlington, Texas store. So no, we don't ship from there. But if you live anywhere near the Dallas area and you want that game, right now Price Charting and eBay both have it over $1,000. We have it for the low price of $9.99. So, it's a lot of money, but it's a very rare game, and we're happy to test it for you, open it up, show you the board, show you it's legit. And you can buy, safely and securely from a reputable company versus buying from eBay or meeting some dude in a parking lot or anything like that. So if you're looking for that game to fill your collection, I don't know if they'll even still have it by the time this show airs, but like I said, they tend to, go quickly, but definitely give them a try at our Arlington store if you're looking for that game. And I'll try and come to you, every week with something like that, either an unusual item from our website or one of our stores or any kind of, rare game alert, just kind of as things come in. So look for more of that in the future. So now let's get on to Level 3, our feature segment. And now we're back with Level 3, the feature segment. This week it's kind of a shorter segment. This is something that's new that I'll do from time to time also on the show, a tips and tricks segment. So just sharing a little gaming knowledge. Some of you already know this and may think it's, super, common knowledge or whatever, but I think for some people they'll find it really interesting. So this week I was thinking of the Master System. The original Sega that came to the U.S. and, 8-bit system competed with the Nintendo NES. Obviously, here it didn't sell as well as the NES. That kind of became the standard video game console here in the 80s. But lots of love for Sega. They had awesome games. It was a cool system. And something a lot of people didn't know about this system, let me kind of pull it out here into the front. So first of all, if you find one of these in the wild now, or even at a store like Game Over, it's not very common to find, first of all. And so if you find it, out there and you find a good working one, it may not necessarily have all the parts to it, right? You may not have the cords, you may not have the controllers. For some reason, I think the controllers for the Master System, in my opinion, were especially crappy. I don't know why, but they just, I don't think I've ever had one that worked well. Like the D-pad was like this big square, and so it wasn't really a D, it was like a big square. I don't know, but the whole thing moved, but it was never as precise and as good as the Nintendo NES pad. So anyway, they broke a lot, and wires always get lost and cut and, just damaged over the years. So if you find one in the drawer, the desk drawer, I'm going to pull out a new thing out of here. So a lot of people had this, though. The original 91 Genesis. And I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but the cords and controllers from this will work on this. So I've got all my accessories here. You know, like your power plug from Sega. Actually, the power port on the Master System. It's the exact same as the Genesis. This is version 1 only. They had, you know, several versions of the Genesis, and it's only this first one. Whoops. But yeah, the port's the same. So the power plug works on both, and it's not the kind of thing that's going to blow up your system. That's made by Sega. It's designed. They just share the same design on that port. Also, the AV cables that had this kind of big, fat, round connection for the AV. Same on the Master System. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, that way. So plugs in there. It's only mono, you know, only one channel audio, but you can split that if you get a little splitter. And then same thing on this. It had that same big AV port on the back. So it's just kind of a cool way that you can, you know, share accessories if you have a big setup at your house where you have multiple consoles, like in a, you know, a cube kind of entertainment center, and you want to have minimal wires showing or out there. You can share one set of wires between both of these systems. And so that's really cool. Same thing with controllers. The Sega had the 9-pin. It's like 9 little circles, 5 on top, 5 on bottom, or 4 on bottom. So 9-pin controller port. So your Master System controller port will actually take Genesis controllers. Let's see if I can do this. Oops. Yeah, so that just plugs right in there, and you can use Genesis controllers. So if you don't have the controllers for your Master System, or you have them but they're crappy like most of them are, you can use some Genesis ones on there, and that's really cool. Also, not only can you do that, but because they had this kind of standard, industry standard from back in the day, 9-pin connection, you can also use the Sega Genesis controllers on the Atari 2600s, believe it or not, and also the Atari 7800s. They had the same pin configuration. So if you have an Atari and you want to try it out with a Sega controller, that's fun. You can definitely do that. And in some cases, it's actually a lot more fun than the big Atari, you know, joystick controller. So anyway, just some cool little facts about our friend, the Sega Master System. Another cool fact about this machine is that, let me put this stuff away here. Also on the Master System, that some of these systems, not all of them, but some of them had the like pack-in game built in on the machine. So if you have one and, you know, maybe you don't use it very often, you know, it happens. But the next time you hook it up, plug in the wires and the controller and everything, and then turn it on with no game inside, and see if it boots up with like Hang On Safari, Hunt, or, you know, something like that built in. But yeah, some of these had a built-in game, and a lot of people didn't know that, and some people even own that game because it was like a real common to find and, you know, pack-in game back in the day. But had no idea it's actually built on the system. You can just plug it in and play. So anyway, cool stuff about Sega Master System. So we salute you. Yeah, that's it for that. And from time to time, we'll feature other, you know, cool tips and cheat codes and you know, cool retro gaming knowledge that maybe not a lot of people have. Maybe you do, and you're just super cool, or you read all those magazines back in the day, you know, Sega Visions and you know, Game Pro and stuff, and, you know, got all the tips back then. But we'll try and, you know, recycle some of that for this generation. So, interesting facts about the Sega Master System. So now let's go on to level 4 with the boss battles. And now we're back with level 4, the boss battles. So this week for boss battles, I want to talk about not being everybody's friend. I like being people's friend. I think I'm a pretty nice person. But as the boss, you can't be everybody's friend. It's just... It goes with the territory of the job. You just can't. So you can be nice. You can be professional. You know, like, I do the best I can. But I can't be everybody's friend. I also don't give friend and family discounts and stuff like that in the store. You can't come in a Game Over store and say, "Hey, I know David," and, you know, expect me to like hook you up. You know, it's not good business practice. It's not professional. And so I wouldn't do that. You know, I get an employee discount that's the same as any other employee in the store. I don't get any more than they do. I don't just take cool stuff when it comes into the store, take it home and put it in my collection. You know, I buy it with a normal discount. But, you know, for friends that come in, people that know me, grew up with me, you know, just anybody that comes in and just says, "I know David," you're not going to get a discount. Sorry. So let's see. So a lot of times, even just regular customers come in and they think, well, I come in the store every week and I buy stuff, all the time, and I should get some kind of special discount or accommodations, or, I want to like peek through the bins in the back and see, what cool stuff's come in that you haven't put out for anybody else. We really appreciate regular customers, like really. I mean, it's that's the business is based on regular and repeat customers. But again, just like the friends thing, we can't show special treatment to anybody. We want it to be fair to all. So if trade-ins come in and they're not cleaned and priced and processed yet, they stay out of view. You can't see them. I can't see them. My best friends can't see them. They just stay there until they're ready. And then when they're ready and put out for sale, it's first come, first serve. That's the way we are fair to everyone. So thank you all for understanding that. But of course, one of the boss battles is just not everybody does understand that. So anyway, as the boss, lots of kind of good and bad of the job and of the company, process, or running a company process. A lot of good things that happen in the company, often go kind of unrewarded. It's tough being the boss because not everybody chimes in to just say how great you are and how good a job you're doing and how much they love Game Over or whatever. But when it's bad, it's all your fault. Game Over sucks. You suck. This sucks. And it's tough to be that kind of position where you hear very little of the love, but you hear 110% of the hate. And so, it's hard, to process sometimes, like mentally and emotionally, but I always do my best to be, fair to everyone and to deal with all that. But it's one of those hard things of CEO life. The emotional, mental battles, the isolation of kind of being the one responsible for making a final decision, even if you know that final decision is something that either an employee or a customer is not going to really like or agree with. Sometimes you just have to kind of put your foot down. So that's tough. In the world of social media, makes that even worse because we all know what people love to do on social media, and it's not tell other people how awesome they are. It's tell people how crappy they are. There's a lot of negativity, a lot of toxicity out there in social media land, and people come into our stores, and this may happen if you have a business too. People come in there and either just directly badmouth us, to my employee's face or my face in the stores, take pictures of the store and try and glean information from us, like where are your suppliers? How can I, get these fixtures, and how can I set up a store just like yours or whatever? And, while I'm happy to talk to other business owners and share, information and stuff like that on occasion, I don't appreciate it when people come in and like just grill my employees for like the inner workings of Game Over. It's just not cool. People come in and say, I know David, he's my best friend. And, normally that's not true. I don't really have any best friends. Yeah. It's just tough. And people come in, they try and copy our stores, they copy, our events. And, I'm definitely not the first person to have a retro gaming store. I'm not the first person to have a retro gaming event. However, Game Over Video Games and Classic Game Fest are both really great, and they're at the top of the game in those two areas. And so, all these people that like to hate on them or, come up with competing stores and events to try and say, hey, we're just like them. It's really unfortunate that people do that and try and, kind of, instead of asking for help, they just try and steal or piggyback on someone's success and try and, just be a copycat. So it sucks, but it just goes with CEO life. So let's see. Online, it's the worst. Haters going to hate. Copycat's going to copy. Complainer's going to complain. It just goes with the territory, I guess, of social media. It's sad, but it's just the reality. But all that stuff gets exaggerated there for sure. I'm not a jerk as a person. I think I'm a pretty nice, decent guy. I definitely try to be professional in every way. I'm totally upfront about the fact that I'm not perfect and I do make mistakes. The difference, I guess, between me and some other people on that front is that when I make a mistake, I do try and apologize for it. I try and explain why that is the way it is, or that is my decision. But also, if someone's upset with me, I will try and make up with them and apologize for something. But that's all you can really do. You make the best decisions you can at the time based on the information you have, based on what's best for your business. And then, you have to kind of let the other people hopefully accept that, or if they just won't accept that, then, they just need to just move on. But yeah, nobody's perfect. So even I lose my cool and say stupid stuff once in a while. It happens to all of us. But the best thing you can do is try and move forward from there, apologize, move on, work together when you can. And when you can't, just forge your own path and go your own way. So anyway, can't be everybody's friend, but definitely try to as CEO. And that's it for the boss battles this week. So let's go into our bonus level. We have a lot of fan feedback, so let's get to that now. All right, and now we're back with the bonus level, fan feedback. I'm very happy to report that it seems like more people are maybe finding the podcast every week, watching the shows more often, listening on different streaming services, and so we're getting comments, and we finally gotten some more comments that actually have questions in them. So I really appreciate that, and I'm going to try and go through some of the comments we have had. A lot of these are off the YouTube channel, and then some other ones from email and just Facebook and other places where the stream exists, where people have commented. We try and watch them all, but if you ever want to reach out specifically to us and make sure we see it, you can always email us at podcast@gameovervideogames.com. And those emails go straight to me, so I will see them for sure. But yeah, lots of comments on the YouTube streams. Somebody talked about working for a small mom and pop shop for the past 3 years. Got to go on jobs with the owner, and that they were amazed how much they do after the hours to keep the business alive. And it's true. No business owner of a small business works like Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It's just you're always there. At least occasionally, nights, weekends, by phone, on your days off, while you're on vacation. You're always doing something work-related or thinking about it, or somebody is calling or emailing you and forcing you to think about it on your days off. So it just never goes away. So that's just kind of the way it is with small business. Lots of people said happy anniversary. And again, thank you so much for all the love and support. I mean, we definitely could not be here 16 years later without all of you guys. So I'm very, very proud of how far we've come. Cool. I've heard from some good friends of ours, and mine personally, and also Game Over, some regulars that have found the show. So, shout out to all of them. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for your suggestions for Game Over and for Classic Game Fest. We're taking guest and band suggestions for Classic Game Fest right now, and I've gotten a lot of those lately. But also for Game Over, people are always responding with kind words about me in the show, which is nice, because I definitely still feel a little uncomfortable doing this, and so it's nice to get that positive reinforcement. And so to everybody in general who just said thanks, good job, put a thumbs up on the video, liked or subscribed or whatever to the video, I really appreciate that. So thank you for that. Also, I guess starting to get the first strange comments, which is interesting. Somebody commented that their ex stole their PS3 and someone stole their PS4. So I'm sorry to hear that. Interesting, but yeah, so I don't know. I guess let the strange comments commence. I also got some questions, so I really appreciate this was a YouTube comment that somebody asked some questions, and I always love that. That gives us more insight into me or Game Over and kind of the whole process. But this person was asking what specific games called out to me as a kid or inspired me. Man, I loved gaming as a kid. It was never the 24/7 passion that it is for a lot of kids today. It was more of just a kind of activity you would do sometimes to play games back then. But even as a casual gamer, I mean, I loved gaming. I loved playing with my younger brother, with my friends in the neighborhood, and I think, back in the day, it was like Atari and Nintendo NES games that I played the most. Atari Combat, the pack-in, but it was really fun, and it was a fun, like, couch co-op game, 2-player. You could trash talk while you're playing. That was fun. Yar's Revenge was one of my favorites, too. And I got to meet the creator of that, Howard Warshall at CGF several years ago, and so that was a really big thrill for me. Also, I've always loved the Mario platformer games. Every one, outdoes the predecessors, and did I say outdoes? Outdoes the predecessors, and just opens up totally new worlds and styles of play, and it's even done that recently with Mario Odyssey, but every Mario game that comes out, I feel like it's just they expand the world some more. Mega Man games, I loved those also. I love the power ups. Same with Metroid games too. I love the power ups. Where you enhance your character with those different add-ons. let's see, was it technology or specific titles that I liked? I liked both. I've always been attracted to the new technology. You know, trying out a new controller on a new system was always fun. You know, revolutionary with the Wii, with the motion. But even in the old days, like going from a Nintendo to a Sega Genesis or Sega Master System controller, you know, they're similar in a lot of ways, but also have a very different feel in a lot of ways. So technology is always interesting, and the specific titles, I always go back to a lot of those mainstream, you know, platformers, and I just love those, and seeing what they do differently with the technology on each system. Even Sonic games, you know, talking about the Sega systems, you know, how they've evolved from, you know, Master System Genesis up to, you know, Sonic games today that are now multi-platform. It's always fun to see what they're going to do next with these classic characters. What is the cutoff line for retro? Ooh, that's a good one. A lot of people ask that, especially in our stores where it's, you know, mostly retro stuff. What is retro? What year specifically? What console specifically, you know, determines that? And so that's interesting. I always personally think retro is anything that's about 20 years old. So to me, now being 2021, I think anything that came out, you know, around 2000 on back is retro. So the way I would look at the products in our store right now and describe it is the original Xbox and PlayStation 2 on back in time, that's all retro now. Oh, sorry, Rob. But anything beyond that, from Xbox 360, PS3 on up to the current gen cycle, that's all still current or recent gen, and so I wouldn't consider those things retro yet. So that's where I draw the line. I don't think there is an official line. It's, you know, subjective, of course, but yeah, that's where I would draw the line. Let's see what else. Yeah, I guess that's really it for the questions. But yeah, thank you so much for those questions, and I really appreciate the taking the time to just like and subscribe and you know, say good job and stuff on the comments. But anytime you can ask a question or you know, give me an idea for something to talk about on the show, that's always greatly appreciated too, because I think people love hearing that. They love hearing the questions, and they love hearing you know, the answers. So thank you for participating in that, and thank you overall. Thanks for the support. Again, 16 years, crazy that we made it this far. But so excited and proud, and you know, excited for the future. Excited to go many more years with this as retro gaming gets even more and more popular all the time. So thank you for watching, for streaming, for listening, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all across social media land. However you see fit to do that and watch the show, we appreciate you. Thanks for your support. I hope everybody has a great week. And remember, Halloween is coming up, so there's something cool at the end of the month. So let's all just, you know, do what we need to do to get through October and get into the Halloween mind frame. And then we got the holidays right after that, so it's going to be a fun couple of months. But that's all for us this week. So thank you for your support. Thanks for watching Game Overcast, and game over. Also, I always leave little written notes. I have little Post-it notes everywhere, like on my desk and stuff. Yeah, they're not all over the room. They're in they're places where they need to be because there's notes. I wouldn't see it if it wasn't there. That's how notes work. That's how it works. It's called a Post-it because you have to have an it and then you post. That's how you do it.